So with some of the grinders, they have no need for any prep work. They come ready to roll, waiting for their standard fitment shroud. There is nothing to remove or adapt around the actual collar. For the machines, these include Makitas, we've got HiKOKI, we've got Milwaukee Erbauer for the DIY range. And it also covers other 9-inch grinders. I know we've got a range of 4.5 and 5-inch here, but 9-inch grinders, the same principle applies to everything. So when you get your grinder, if it looks normal, for want of a better word, standard, then you just need to move on, fit your adapter ring, and then you can fit the shroud. So here we're dealing with a DeWalt grinder, but this also affects some other grinders as well, where they have a pre-installed shroud and you have a quick release mechanism to adjust the shroud as standard. So to prepare this ready to take the MAXVAC adapter ring and shroud, firstly remove the blade clamp bolt. Then pressing the button, you can twist this round and it releases and pops off. And that goes through the indents and they pop out of the head unit. Then, using a Torx 15 in this instance, there's a screw here which goes into the gear housing. So firstly we need to remove the Torx screw here. This is a closed head hole in the casing, so there's no effect to the actual use of the grinder. Remove the screw. You then remove the clip and the spring. And once that's done, you then need a flathead screwdriver, and you'll see around here there is a spring. But that is a loose end spring, and you can use the screwdriver as long as you just pop the first of the head out. Then you can grab it with your hand. That it just unwinds around the head. There is no damage caused again to the head. And the spring stays in shape, can be refitted by just following the reverse process. This grinder now is ready for having the adapter ring installed and following the instructions for fitting the shroud. Doing this applies to all models of grinder, makes and models, with this OEM type fitting for their dust shroud. With some DeWalts, you may find that they have a slightly different clamp system here. The same principles apply. Again, we just need to make sure we've got the right Torx bit. So in this instance here, we are a Torx 20. Unscrew the Torx part again. Remove the bolt, remove the clip, and you'll notice there is a spring inset in here. You do need to remove the spring, and again it is just a case of using a flat screwdriver just to pop the points out. There's one, and that's two, and then it lifts out. So as you'll see on here, now we've removed the spring, there is a hook each side of this here. Once you've twisted push the spring down, you then just need to unclip it from these 2 points, these 2 horns on here. And again, it is refittable, providing you take that into account. If you just yank at it with a screwdriver, you can stretch the spring, then it is not refittable. Again, on these ones, you still have the same spring around the collar and follow the same process to remove that. So here we are dealing with an X-lock. This particular model is a Bosch grinder. Makita also have the X-lock. The principle is the same. We need to firstly, it's around here on this particular one, pull the lock-in pin that holds the shroud. We turn the shroud. On Bosch it is when it is the wrong way around, and then it pops off. Now with X-lock, they're slightly different. They have a wider collet here to hold the blade, and they have a slightly different fitting ring. There's a specialist Makita X-Lock ring and shroud for these. And again, we need to remove the spring arm here, and as you can see, there is a screw into the gear housing. So again, using a Torx 20, I will remove that bolt. So now we remove the screw. When it comes out, there was a spring which is fitted on the thing, on the axle. Now we do need to put the screw back in on this case. Wind that back in. And again, you do that up. On there, there is another screw in the pack which you will receive. It's actually slightly short on this one because it doesn't need to go through the blade clamp bracket, which we've just removed. So now once we've fitted the screw back in here, now this is the shorter one. It's actually 4mm shorter than the original to allow for the thickness of the blade clamp, and that now is ready for taking the adapter ring and then the shroud. So here we have a Metabo. Again, just a quick shot on that. We just remove the blade lock on there. Again, you can remove the blade holder, and this one here is fitted with again with the lever for the shroud, and there is a bolt here that holds it in, and in the pack you get a shorter bolt to replace it. So using again the Torx 20, so removing the screw, pop that out. You can then, again just using the end of it to lever out, remove the bar, it's on a little hinge, and then if I just move this and spin that, you'll see there's a little spring in here. Again, we need to remove that. It's very straightforward. Each side of the spring, but you pull it out and remove it. There's your spring. It is able to be refitted. And then using the new bolts supplied, so just replacing the M5 bolt, again now with the one that's again 3mm shorter. Make sure it's done up snugly. And the grinder is now ready for fitting the adapter ring.